The call came through at 3:47 a.m. on October 15th. In 16 years as a 911 dispatcher, I thought I'd heard everything. Gunshots, last breaths, confessions, screams that still wake me up at night. But nothing prepared me for the voice that said, "This is not an emergency in your understanding. This is a warning about Jesus." What that being told me in the next 47 minutes will shake everything you think you know about prayer, faith, and why churches are failing you. Before this story ends, you'll understand why your prayers feel like they're hitting a ceiling, why the Jesus you were taught feels distant and unreachable, and why humanity has exactly 20 years to remember what he actually came to teach us or face consequences we're not ready for. If you're ready to hear what churches don't want you to know, what I'm about to share will change your life forever. Now let me tell you how a single phone call shattered my entire worldview.
October 15th started like any other night shift. The Sedona 911 dispatch center gets quiet after midnight. Tourists are asleep. Locals know better than to cause trouble. My job between midnight and dawn is mostly waiting, monitoring scanners, filing reports, drinking coffee that tastes like burnt regret. I prefer night shift. Fewer supervisors, no small talk. Just me, the radio static, and the glowing screens that have been my only company since David left. At 3:47 a.m., the board lit up. Incoming call, unknown number. I clicked the headset button with the same mechanical precision I'd used 16,000 times before. 911, what's your emergency? Silence. Not dead air. Something was there. I could hear breathing? No. Something like breathing, but wrong. Too measured. Too intentional. 911, I repeated. Can you hear me? What's your location? Then the voice came through. This is not an emergency in your understanding. Male voice. Calm. Articulate. But the accent was nowhere. Not foreign, not American, not anything I could place. Like someone who'd learned English from a textbook written by a computer. Sir, if this isn't an emergency, you need to hang up. This line is for... This is a warning, he continued, as if I hadn't spoken. I am stranded. I need to deliver a message before my ship is repaired and I must leave your planet. My finger hovered over the disconnect button. Probably drugs. Sedona gets its share of peyote tourists and crystal energy seekers who lose touch with reality. Sir, where are you located? Coordinates are irrelevant. Time is irrelevant. Something in his tone stopped me from hanging up. In 16 years, you develop instincts. You learn to hear the difference between crazy and dangerous, between pranks and real crises. This voice wasn't any of those things. This voice was certain, absolutely, unervingly certain. Churches are accelerating corruption of Jesus' teachings. Humanity has 20 years before point of no return. You must hear this. Will you listen? I should have disconnected. Protocol says anything non-emergency gets transferred or terminated. But it was 3:47 a.m. No supervisor, no one monitoring, and something in me, something I'd buried since the divorce, since the unanswered prayers, since the cross necklace I still wore under my uniform became more habit than faith. Something in me whispered, "Listen." "I'm listening," I heard myself say. "Good. My name is difficult in your language. You may call me Zephon. I am what you would classify as extraterrestrial biological entity. My ship experienced malfunction approximately 18 of your hours ago. I crashed in the desert. I have made necessary repairs, but I have perhaps 4 of your hours before I must depart. I chose to contact emergency line because it is the only channel where humans still listen to strangers without prejudice. My heart was pounding. Every rational cell in my brain screamed that this was a hoax, a prank, someone with too much time and too many hallucinogens. But his voice, God, his voice, it had a quality I'd never heard before, like he was speaking from somewhere both very far away and very close, like the words were arriving in my ears and my chest simultaneously. Why me? Why call 911? You are Rebecca Lawson, age 42, 16 years emergency services, divorced, 2 children at university who rarely communicate. You wear cross necklace you no longer believe in. You stopped attending church after your husband left because your prayers were not answered. You feel invisible, unimportant, abandoned by the God you were taught to worship. I yanked the headset off. My hands were shaking. The room felt too small, too bright. How could he know those things? The necklace was under my shirt. The divorce was public record, but my kids, my prayers, the specific feeling of abandonment? I stared at the blinking line indicator. He was still there, waiting. Slowly, I put the headset back on. How do you know those things about me? I can perceive energy fields. Your electromagnetic signature contains your history, your pain, your questions. All beings broadcast their stories. Most humans have forgotten to read them. But Rebecca, I did not call you by accident. You were chosen for this message because you are perfect receiver. You have lost faith, but not hope. You have stopped believing, but not questioning. And you have the capacity to hear what I must tell you about the one you call Jesus, and to share it with others who are equally lost. Why should I believe you're really what you say you are? You should not believe without evidence. In 43 seconds, emergency call will come through on line 2. Male, age 67, cardiac event, 4247 Desert Vista Road. He will say his chest feels like an elephant is sitting on it. You will dispatch ambulance and he will survive. I am telling you this so you know I am not guessing about your necklace. I stared at the console. Line 2 was dark. 30 seconds passed. 40. Line 2 lit up. I clicked through, hands trembling. 911? What's your emergency? My chest. The man's voice was strained, terrified. It feels like an elephant is sitting on my chest. I can't breathe right. I dispatched the ambulance on autopilot, barely hearing my own voice giving instructions, getting his address. 4247 Desert Vista Road. When I switched back to line 1, Zephon was waiting. Now you know I am what I claim. Now we can discuss what you need to hear about Jesus, the real Jesus, not the version churches have sold you. Are you ready? I took a breath that felt like it might be my last normal breath ever. I'm ready.
Before I tell you about Jesus, Zephon said, I need to understand what you already believe. What did churches teach you? I leaned back in my chair, the question opening a door I'd kept locked for 2 years. I was raised Catholic, I began. My grandmother basically raised me after my mom died when I was 8. Every Sunday, we were in the pews. Every night, we prayed the rosary. I learned that Jesus was God's only Son, sent to die for our sins because humanity was too broken to save itself. We were taught that we're inherently sinful, that we need salvation we can't earn ourselves, that Jesus' sacrifice was the only thing standing between us and eternal damnation. And you believe this? Completely. For 32 years, I believed every word. I fingered the cross under my uniform, the metal warm against my skin. I became a 911 dispatcher because I wanted to help people. I thought it was my calling, literally, like God was calling me to this work. When my grandmother died, I felt her presence guiding me. When I met David, I believed God brought us together. When we had our kids, Emma and Jake, I thought our family was blessed. My voice cracked. Even after 2 years, talking about David hurt. Then David left, just left. Came home one Tuesday, said he'd fallen in love with a 28-year-old yoga instructor, and by Friday he was gone. 20 years of marriage, 2 kids, a mortgage, all of it just over. And you prayed, Zephon said. Not a question. I prayed like I'd never prayed before. I begged God to change David's heart. I promised I'd be a better wife. I fasted. I went to daily mass. I lit candles and said novenas and made deals with God like he was a used car salesman. The bitterness in my voice surprised me. I hadn't talked about this with anyone. Not the therapist the department made me see, not my few remaining friends, definitely not Emma and Jake, who blamed me for their father leaving, even though I'd done nothing wrong. And God was silent, completely silent. Not even the comfort of feeling heard, just nothing. Empty air, like praying into a void. The priest said God's ways are mysterious, that suffering brings us closer to Christ, that I needed more faith. But how much faith do you need? I'd given my whole life to the church, and when I needed God most, there was just silence. I wiped my eyes, angry at myself for crying. So I stopped going, stopped praying, kept wearing this necklace because taking it off felt like admitting my grandmother was wrong about everything, and I can't do that to her memory. But I don't believe anymore. Can't believe in a God who ignores desperate prayers from devoted followers. And your children? The question landed like a punch. Emma's 20, at Arizona State, pre-law. She calls maybe once a month, always rushed, always with somewhere else to be. Jake's 18, University of Colorado, film school. He sends occasional texts. Neither of them came home for Christmas last year. They have their father's new family now. The yoga instructor is apparently fun and doesn't make everything heavy. I laughed, but it came out broken. So, yeah, 42 years old, living alone in a one-bedroom apartment that smells like other people's cooking, working night shifts because at least the darkness is honest. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. No husband, no kids who want me around, no God listening to my prayers. Just me and these headsets and the knowledge that I'm completely, utterly alone. Silence on the line. Not empty this time, full, like Zephon was holding space for my pain. Rebecca, he finally said, what if I told you that every single thing you just described, the unanswered prayers, the abandonment, the silence, was not because God doesn't exist, but because everything you were taught about how to connect with God was deliberately incorrect? I felt something stir in my chest. Hope? Anger? I couldn't tell. What do you mean deliberately incorrect? I mean that the Jesus you pray to is not the Jesus that actually lived. The prayers you were taught are designed to fail. The relationship with God you seek is impossible through the methods churches teach, not because you lack faith, but because you've been given broken tools and told the problem is your technique. I didn't know what to say. That's insane. Is it?
You prayed desperately for 20 years to save your marriage. You prayed with absolute faith, complete devotion, pure intention, and your prayers were unanswered. Either God doesn't care about your suffering, or you were using an ineffective method. Which is easier to believe? I couldn't argue. The Jesus I met, Zephon continued, was not the Jesus your churches describe. He was not God's only son suffering to appease an angry father. He was not establishing a religion of dependence and guilt. He was teaching consciousness technology, practical methods for accessing creative power that exists in every human being. And what he taught was so dangerous to existing power structures that it had to be buried, distorted, repackaged into a religion that keeps people small, guilty, and dependent. You met Jesus? My voice came out as a whisper. I was there. I was part of the support network that assisted his mission. I watched him teach, heal, demonstrate abilities that your churches now call miracles, which are actually applications of natural laws you've forgotten. And I watched as his teachings were systematically corrupted into the opposite of what he actually said. Why should I believe any of this? Because in your heart, you already know churches are lying to you. You already know something is wrong with their version of Jesus. You felt it every time your prayers hit that ceiling and fell back empty. You felt it in the silence that greeted your desperate cries for help. You felt it in the disconnect between the love Jesus supposedly embodied and the guilt-based control system built in his name. Tears were streaming down my face now. So what do I do? If everything I was taught is wrong, if my prayers don't work because I was taught wrong, how do I fix it? How do I connect with God? How do I stop feeling so completely alone? That, Zephon said, is exactly what I called to teach you. And it begins with understanding what Jesus actually came to this planet to demonstrate.
Jesus of Nazareth, Zephon began, was not what your religions teach. He was advanced consciousness that chose to incarnate in human form to demonstrate what all humans can become. What do you mean, advanced consciousness? Your species understands evolution as physical, apes to humans over millions of years. But there is also consciousness evolution. Most humans on Earth are operating at what we call third-density consciousness, physical reality, survival instinct, beginning spiritual awareness. Jesus had evolved to seventh-density consciousness, unity awareness, mastery of matter, direct connection to source energy you call God. I tried to process this. So he was more evolved than us? Yes, but not permanently separate from you. Think of it as older soul with more experience across multiple lifetimes. He chose to incarnate as human to show humanity what you are becoming. He was not exception, he was example. This is crucial to understand. Churches say he was God's only son. He was as much God's son as you are God's daughter. The difference is he remembered it. You have forgotten. Something in those words resonated so deeply I felt it in my bones. When Jesus said, "I and the Father are one," Zephon continued, he was not claiming unique divinity. He was revealing truth about all consciousness. Every being, every human, every spark of awareness is God experiencing itself. You are not separate from God. You are God wearing Rebecca's face, having Rebecca's experiences, temporarily pretending to be limited so you can learn what limitation teaches. That's blasphemy, I whispered, but even as I said it, something in me was saying, yes, yes, this is true. It is only blasphemy to institutions that built power on your sense of unworthiness. If you understood you are divine consciousness having temporary human experience, would you need priests as intermediaries? Would you pay tithes for salvation you already possess? Would you accept religious authority over your direct connection to source energy? No, I admitted. Exactly. This is why Jesus' true teachings were buried. He came to empower. Churches chose to control. Empowered people don't need institutional religion, so the teachings had to be changed. What did he actually teach? He taught that the kingdom of God is within you, literally, not metaphorically. That you have same creative power he demonstrated. That miracles are not supernatural intervention, but natural application of consciousness principles. That prayer is not begging external God for favors, but consciously directing creative energy that you are. That love is not emotion, but fundamental frequency of the universe that can heal, manifest, and transform physical reality. My head was spinning. You're saying Jesus taught like a technology, not a religion? Precisely. When he healed blind man, he was not performing supernatural miracle. He was demonstrating how consciousness energy affects physical matter. When he multiplied loaves and fishes, he was showing how focused intention can reorganize molecules. When he walked on water, he was proving that physical laws are malleable to awakened consciousness. Everything he did was a demonstration of abilities available to all humans once you remember how. But I can't do any of that. Because you were taught to pray like beggar to a distant God. Please God, if it's your will, maybe help me. This prayer comes from frequency of lack, unworthiness, separation, and lack is exactly what it manifests. I thought about my prayers during the divorce. Please God, please change David's heart. Please save my marriage. Please don't let me be alone. Begging. All of it was begging. Jesus gave thanks before miracles manifested because he understood that on an energetic level they were already complete. Physical reality just needed time to catch up with consciousness reality. He operated from frequency of abundance, certainty, unity with Source. This is why his prayers worked and yours don't. The truth of it hit me like cold water. So I've been praying wrong my entire life? You've been praying exactly how churches taught you to pray, in ways that reinforce dependence on external authority rather than activate your own divine power. This was not accident. This was design. Why would churches deliberately teach us wrong? Because Jesus came to demonstrate that you don't need churches, you don't need priests, you don't need sacraments or rituals or institutional salvation. You have direct access to God because you are expression of God. But if humanity understood this, religious empires would crumble overnight. So his teachings of empowerment were transformed into doctrines of dependence. And for 2,000 years, billions of people have prayed desperately to external God, while their own divine power lay dormant inside them, waiting to be remembered. I felt anger rising, hot, clean anger at every priest who told me to have more faith, every Sunday school teacher who taught me I was a sinner needing salvation, every religious authority who kept me small and guilty and powerless while telling me it was holy. If this is true, I said slowly, if Jesus actually taught that we're divine, that we have power, that we can manifest and heal and access God directly, can you prove it? Can you show me it works? Yes, Zephon said, and I will. But first, you must be willing to release what you think you know about Jesus, about God, about yourself. Can you do that? I thought about my grandmother, about her faith, about betraying everything she taught me. Then I thought about 42 years of unanswered prayers and crippling loneliness. Yes, I said, I can do that.
Wait, I said, pulling back. This is insane. I'm sitting alone at 4 a.m. talking to someone who claims to be an alien about how Jesus was actually teaching consciousness technology. This is a breakdown. I'm having a breakdown. You are not having breakdown, Zephon said calmly.
Your mind is protecting itself from information that challenges worldview built over 42 years. This is natural response. But ask yourself, does what I'm saying feel false, or does it feel threatening to identity you've constructed? I opened my mouth to argue, but stopped. Because he was right. Nothing he'd said felt wrong. It felt dangerous to everything I'd built my life on, but not wrong. Okay, but the Bible says Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, that no one comes to the Father except through him. If what you're saying is true, that contradicts Scripture. Does it, or does it contradict interpretation of Scripture? When Jesus said, "I am the way," he was not claiming exclusivity for his physical body. He was saying that consciousness I embody, unity with Source, love frequency, divine remembering, this is the way. He was saying, become like me, not worship me. Churches chose to interpret it as worship my name, because worship creates religious power structures. Embodiment creates awakened humans who don't need churches. But theologians have studied this for 2,000 years. Brilliant minds, devoted scholars. Who are you to say they're all wrong? I am not saying they are wrong about everything. I am saying they inherited corrupted transmission and sincerely tried to understand it. But starting with false premises leads to false conclusions, no matter how brilliant the analysis. If you are given broken compass and told it points north, you could create intricate navigation systems around it. But you would still be lost because your fundamental tool was flawed from the beginning. If I believe this, what does that make me? Everything I've based my life on, my grandmother's faith, my own beliefs, what I taught my children, was it all wrong? Was I wrong for 42 years? You were doing best you could with information you had. Evolution is not betrayal of past self. It is honoring past self by continuing to grow. Your grandmother taught you what she believed was true. She loved you through that teaching. That love remains valid even if the theology was incomplete. You taught your children to seek truth. Now you have access to deeper truth. This is not failure. It is success of the seeking. Why me? Why would cosmic beings choose a divorced, lonely dispatcher in the middle of nowhere to receive this information? I'm nobody. I'm nothing special. Jesus chose fishermen, not kings. Tax collectors, not priests. The broken, not the powerful. Do you know why? Because the broken are open. The wounded are humble. And humility is doorway to truth. You are perfect vessel precisely because you are not special in ways world values. You have no platform, no authority, no reason for anyone to believe you. This means message must stand on its own power, not on your credentials. Also, you are not nothing. You are divine consciousness experiencing limitation so you can teach others about transcendence. That is everything. Tears started again. If this is true, I've wasted decades, 32 years praying wrong, believing wrong, living wrong. David left because I was miserable, and I was miserable because I was praying to a God who wasn't listening the way I was taught he would. If I'd known this earlier, maybe I could have saved my marriage, been a better mother, not lost everything. Guilt is just another frequency that keeps you trapped, Zephon interrupted gently. You cannot change past, but you can change future. Every moment is new choice. And Rebecca, your marriage ending was not failure. It was catalyst. If you had stayed comfortable in beliefs that weren't serving you, would you be open to this conversation? Sometimes what looks like loss is actually liberation, making space for truth. This one broke me completely. But Emma and Jake. They were so scared when David left. Emma was 18, Jake was 16, and I held them and told them God had a plan, that if we just had faith, everything would work out, that Jesus was watching over us. And they believed me, they trusted me, and nothing worked out. Now they don't call. They don't trust me. They think I'm the sad, pathetic religious mother they have to tolerate on holidays. My voice cracked completely. If what you're saying is true, I taught them lies when they needed truth. I told them to pray when I should have taught them they're powerful. I made them feel small and dependent when I should have shown them they're divine. I failed them at the most critical moment of their lives because I was operating from broken theology. Rebecca, Zephon's voice held such compassion I could barely stand it. Your children are exactly where they need to be on their own journeys. And when time is right, what you learn tonight will become gift you can offer them. Not through preaching, they would reject that. Through transformation. When they see you change, when they see you step into power, when they witness you manifesting joy and purpose they've never seen in you before, they will ask questions, and then you can share what you learned. But first, you must forgive yourself. Can you do that? I couldn't speak, only cry. Can you forgive Rebecca, who did her best with broken tools? He asked again. I don't know, I whispered. Then we begin there, he said.
I'm going to guide you through something, Zephon said. Small demonstration that what I'm teaching is not theory, but practice. Do you have chronic pain anywhere in your body? I almost laughed. I'm 42 and work night shifts in an uncomfortable chair. My lower back is a disaster. Perfect. Rate the pain right now, 1 to 10. I shifted in my seat, feeling the familiar ache. 7, maybe 8. Good. Now I'm going to teach you what Jesus taught his disciples. Close your eyes. I hesitated, then complied. Place your hand on your lower back where pain is strongest. Feel the warmth of your own hand. Now, I want you to think of a moment when you felt completely loved. Not romantic love, pure love. Perhaps holding your children when they were babies. Perhaps a moment with your grandmother. Find that memory. I thought of Emma, 3 hours old, looking up at me with eyes that seemed to contain the universe. Do you have it? Yes. Feel that feeling, not the memory, the actual feeling of that love. Let it fill your chest. Let it expand. This is love frequency. This is what Jesus operated from constantly. Can you feel it? Warmth was spreading through my chest, real physical warmth. I feel it. Good. Now imagine that warmth has color. What color is it? Gold, I said immediately. Like honey in sunlight. Perfect. Now imagine that golden warmth flowing down your arm, through your hand, into your back where the pain is strongest. Don't force it. Just allow it to flow like warm honey. Imagine it filling the painful area, dissolving tension, realigning everything to perfect health template. Feel it happening. I did as he instructed, and I swear on everything I've ever believed in. The warmth was real. I could feel it moving down my arm, pooling in my lower back, spreading like liquid heat through the knotted muscles. Keep breathing. Keep feeling the love frequency flowing. Your body knows how to heal itself. You're just giving it the energetic permission and direction. 30 more seconds. I sat there, hand on my back, feeling the impossible warmth. Now, open your eyes and stand up. I stood and gasped. The pain was gone, completely gone. Not dulled, not manageable, absent.
I twisted, bent, moved in ways that would have made me wince 5 minutes ago. Nothing, no pain. What the hell did you just do? I did nothing. You healed yourself using the same principles Jesus used. Love frequency, directed through conscious intention, creates physical healing. This is not miracle, this is technology. I sat down heavily, staring at my hand like it belonged to someone else. This is impossible. It is perfectly possible. You just experienced it. Jesus taught his disciples to heal this way. By their fruits you shall know them. The fruit of correct understanding is healing, manifestation, transformation. The fruit of church theology is guilt, dependence, and unanswered prayers. Which fruit are you seeing in your life? I had no answer. Now, I will show you something else. Do you have paper and pen? I grabbed my notepad. Write down a number between 1 and 100. Don't say it aloud. I wrote 47. You wrote 47. My blood went cold. How did you? I perceived it in your energy field. But this is not me reading your mind. This is demonstrating that consciousness is not contained in your skull. Your thoughts are energy. Energy radiates. Jesus perceived thoughts of those around him constantly. This is how he knew what people needed before they spoke. Not supernatural mind reading, natural energy perception. Can you teach me to do that? Eventually, yes, but it requires practice. What I can teach you right now is how to pray effectively. This will change your life more than any other single thing. I'm listening. When you prayed for your marriage to be saved, what did you feel? Desperation, fear. Please, please, please don't let this happen. That feeling, desperation, is frequency of lack. You are affirming that you didn't have what you wanted. Universe responds to your frequency, not your words. So universe gave you more experience of not having what you wanted. Your prayer was manifestation in reverse. This was almost too much to bear. So how should I have prayed? Jesus method. Feel as if already received. If you wanted marriage healed, you would need to feel gratitude for healed marriage as if it had already happened. Feel the joy, the relief, the connection in present tense. This is not pretending. This is quantum alignment. When you hold frequency of desired outcome with enough certainty and emotion, physical reality rearranges to match. This is how Jesus manifested miracles. He held certainty of outcome so completely that matter had no choice but to comply. But I don't understand the science. You don't need to understand electricity to flip light switch. You don't need to understand quantum mechanics to use consciousness technology. You just need to know feeling is the power source, thought is the direction, certainty is the catalyst. Feel what you want as if you already have it. Maintain that feeling. Release attachment to how it arrives. Universe will handle logistics. I was writing frantically, trying to capture everything. Try it now, Zephon said. What do you want most? I thought of Emma and Jake, of phone calls that never came, of holidays spent alone. I want my children to want a relationship with me again. Feel it, right now. Close your eyes. Feel the phone ringing. Emma calling, actually wanting to talk, not out of obligation. Feel the warmth in your chest as you hear her voice. Feel the joy of her sharing her life with you. Feel Jake texting you a funny meme he thought you'd like. Feel the relationship healed, connected, loving. Feel it as if it's already real. I closed my eyes and tried. At first, nothing. Then a flicker, a warmth, An image of Emma laughing, telling me about her day. Jake sending a silly selfie with the caption, "Miss you, Mom." And suddenly I was crying again, but different this time. Not grief, something else. Something that felt like hope might feel if hope had substance. That feeling, Zephon said softly, that is prayer frequency. Hold it for 60 seconds every day. Watch what happens. You really think they'll call? I know energy follows consciousness. I know what you focus on with elevated emotion manifests in physical reality. I know Jesus taught this method, and it worked every time. Whether Emma and Jake call depends on many factors, but your frequency shift absolutely changes the probability field. This is not magic. This is mechanics of consciousness. I opened my eyes, feeling something I hadn't felt in 2 years. Power. Actual power, not over others, over my own experience. This is what Jesus taught. This is what Jesus lived, and what he came to show you that you can live too.
Now you understand methodology, Zephon said. But you need to understand the bigger picture. Why Jesus came, what he was really trying to accomplish, and why his mission was systematically sabotaged. I'm ready. Jesus was part of Cosmic Assistance Program. There are developed civilizations throughout galaxy and beyond that monitor developing planets. When species reaches critical evolutionary threshold, assistance is offered, but there are rules. We cannot intervene directly. We cannot force evolution. We can only incarnate teachers who demonstrate next level of consciousness, hoping species will recognize and emulate. So Jesus was one of you? Jesus was 7th density consciousness who volunteered to incarnate in 3rd density human body to show humanity what you are becoming. He was not alien in body. He was born human, died human. But consciousness animating that body was far more evolved than typical human consciousness of that era. Were there others? Yes, Buddha, Krishna, Lao Tzu, Muhammad, many teachers across many cultures, all demonstrating elevated consciousness principles appropriate to their time and place. Jesus' specific mission was to demonstrate love frequency mastery and consciousness matter interface for Western civilization. He succeeded in demonstration. He failed in transmission. What do you mean failed? He taught small group of disciples. Some understood perfectly, Mary Magdalene especially. But after his death, those who formed early church had political concerns. Roman Empire was powerful. Christianity needed to be acceptable to Roman power structure to survive. So teachings of personal empowerment were edited into teachings of institutional dependence. Original texts were burned. Gnostic gospels were suppressed. Women's voices were silenced, specifically Mary's, because she understood Jesus' teachings better than any male disciple. I felt sick. So the Bible we have is incomplete, edited, politically motivated, not entirely false, but missing crucial pieces. For example, Jesus taught reincarnation, that souls incarnate multiple times to learn different lessons. This was removed in 553 AD at Second Council of Constantinople because church leaders decided it undermined urgency of salvation. If people think they have multiple lifetimes, they might not obey church authority in this one. Jesus taught reincarnation? Of course. How else do you explain his statement, "Before Abraham was, I am"? How else do you explain him saying John the Baptist was Elijah returned?
Original Christians understood reincarnation. It was removed for political control. My entire understanding of Christianity was crumbling. What else was removed? The divine feminine. Jesus taught that God is both masculine and feminine energies in perfect balance. Early Christians worshipped both father and mother aspects of the divine. This was systematically erased, replaced with exclusively masculine God. Why? Because patriarchal power structures cannot maintain control if feminine divine is honored equally. If God the Mother is real, then women's voices matter equally to men's. This was unacceptable to Roman and Jewish patriarchy. So churches have been lying for 2,000 years? Not consciously lying, operating from a corrupted transmission they believe is true. Most priests and pastors are sincere, but they are teaching theology built on political edits, not original teachings. And the result is exactly what you experienced. Prayers that don't work, people who feel powerless, seekers who find only guilt. What was Jesus' actual message then, if you could summarize it? Zephon was quiet for a moment. Jesus' core message was this: you are God experiencing itself through temporary human limitation. You chose to incarnate to learn specific lessons. You have all power of source consciousness within you, but you have forgotten this. When you remember, truly remember, you can heal, manifest, love, and create exactly as I am demonstrating. The kingdom of heaven is not location you go after death. It is consciousness state you access now. And access is through love frequency, present moment awareness, and recognition of your own divine nature. I came not to be worshipped, but to be emulated. Do what I do. Become what I am. This is your destiny, your purpose, and your birthright. I was writing as fast as I could, tears streaming down my face. If this is true, I said, if churches have hidden this for 2,000 years, why? Why keep people powerless? Because powerful people don't need authorities. If you can heal yourself, you don't need priests to intercede. If you can manifest abundance, you don't need to pay tithes for blessings. If you can access God directly, you don't need institutional mediation. Empowered humans are ungovernable, and government, religious and political, requires people to believe they are small, separate, and dependent. But some people do get healed in churches. Some prayers do get answered. Yes, because occasionally, despite incorrect theology, someone stumbles into correct frequency by accident. Desperate mother prays for sick child and for one moment releases all doubt and feels absolute certain child is healed. That certainty, not her words, not her theology, creates healing. Then the church takes credit, saying it was God's grace, when actually it was her own consciousness power activating. This reinforces dependence. Instead of teaching her, she did it and can do it again intentionally. That's diabolical. It is not malicious conspiracy. It is self-perpetuating system. Churches believe their own theology. But yes, the effect is keeping humanity small while claiming to serve humanity's growth. So, what do we do? How do we fix this? You cannot fix institutions from outside, but you can become living demonstration of truth. When you heal yourself, manifest joy, create loving relationships through conscious frequency work. When you embody what Jesus actually taught, others notice. They ask questions. You share what you know. Person by person, frequency by frequency, humanity awakens. This is happening now, faster than ever before. Why now? Because this is critical time for your species. Humanity faces challenges in the next 20 years that will require divine power in every person, not just prayers to distant God. Climate crisis, technological disruption, social upheaval. You need millions of humans operating from Christ consciousness, not worshiping Christ, but embodying Christ principles. This is why beings like me are making contact more frequently. This is why the veil between dimensions is thinning. This is why people are spontaneously awakening. Humanity is at a threshold. You either evolve to next level of consciousness, or you repeat this cycle in a future era. The choice is now. And that's why you called me. Yes, you are early awakener, a seed that sprouted before general flowering. Your function is to embody this transformation so visibly that others cannot help but notice, not through preaching, but through being. When Emma and Jake see you genuinely happy, powerful, manifesting the life you want, they will ask how. When your co-workers notice you're no longer drowning in loneliness, they will ask what changed. And you will tell them, I stopped praying to God and started remembering I am God. I stopped begging and started creating. I stopped being a victim and started being conscious creator. I don't know if I can do that. You are already doing. Your back pain is gone. You felt love frequency move through your hands. You wrote number 3, I could perceive in your energy field. You are already doing what Jesus did, just beginning, but doing, and it will grow. I looked at the clock, 5:23 a.m. We'd been talking for over an hour and a half.
How much longer until you leave? Approximately 90 minutes. Then my ship departs.
So this is it. This one conversation.
This one conversation is seed. What grows from it depends on what you choose to do with what you've learned.
What do I do now? I asked. After you leave, after this shift ends, what do I actually do? First, practice what I taught you. Every morning, before work, spend 20 minutes feeling what you want as if you already have it. Start small. Feel your back pain-free. You've experienced that now, so you know what it feels like. Feel energy and joy. Feel Emma calling just to talk. Hold those feelings. Let them become your default frequency. Okay. Second, document this conversation. Write everything down while it's fresh. Your memory will try to rationalize this as dream or hallucination. Write it now in detail so you have record of what actually happened. I will. Third, watch for synchronicities. When you shift your frequency, reality rearranges to match. You will see evidence of this in small ways at first. Unexpected money, chance encounters, things working out impossibly well. Don't dismiss these as coincidence. They are confirmation you are operating from new frequency. And fourth, be patient with yourself. You are unlearning 42 years of conditioning. Some days you will forget everything I told you and slip back into old patterns. This is normal. Awakening is not straight line, it is spiral. You revisit same lessons at deeper levels. Be gentle with yourself. I felt overwhelming gratitude. Thank you, I whispered. I don't even know if you'll understand what this means, but thank you for choosing me. I understand exactly what it means. And Rebecca, you were not random choice. You have capacity to help many people awaken, not because you're special in conventional ways, but because you're relatable. You're divorced, lonely, struggling dispatcher
who lost faith and found something deeper. Millions of people are in that same position. When they hear your story, they will recognize themselves, and they will think, if Rebecca can do this, maybe I can too. You really think I can help others? I know you can, because you have lived the pain they're living. You've asked the questions they're asking, and now you have answers that actually work. That is powerful combination. At 6:42 a.m., Zephon said, I must go soon. My ship is ready. But before I leave, I want you to know what you learned tonight. Jesus taught every day for 3 years. He healed blind men to show you that your consciousness can heal. He walked on water to show you that physical laws are suggestions, not absolutes, when consciousness is awakened. He rose from death to prove that consciousness continues beyond physical form. Every miracle was lesson in what you can do. I wish I could have met him. You are meeting him. Every time you operate from love frequency, you are embodying Christ consciousness. Every time you choose empowerment over victimhood, you are living his teachings. Every time you manifest from certainty rather than beg from lack, you are doing what he came to teach. He is not person who lived 2,000 years ago. He is frequency you can embody right now. I'm going to try, I said. I'm really going to try. That is all anyone can do. And Rebecca, in 3 weeks you will have a dream. In that dream, you will remember this conversation with perfect clarity. You will remember my exact words, and you will know beyond any doubt that this was real. Until then, trust what you wrote down. Trust the healing in your back. Trust that your frequency is already shifting. 3 weeks? Yes, this is how downloads work. Information settles into unconscious, processes, integrates, then surfaces in dream state with absolute clarity. You will understand then what you cannot fully grasp now. I heard something in the background of his call, a sound like wind, but not wind, like music, but not music. I must go, he said. My ship is initiating launch sequence. Will I ever talk to you again? We are always connected. All consciousness is one. When you pray correctly now, I and millions of others will feel your frequency and support your awakening. You are not alone, Rebecca. You never were. The line went dead. I sat in the silent dispatch center, staring at the console, my notepad filled with frantic writing. The sun was rising over Sedona, and I was not the same person who had started this shift.
Rebecca's story reveals something you may have suspected, but were afraid to fully embrace. You have more power than you've been taught, much more. The churches, the priests, the institutions that claim to speak for God, they've kept you small, not necessarily from malice, but from their own incomplete understanding. They teach prayers that don't work. They teach theology that creates guilt instead of power. They teach you to worship Jesus instead of becoming like Jesus. And you felt it, haven't you? The emptiness of prayers that hit a ceiling and fall back unanswered. The frustration of following all the rules and still feeling abandoned by God. The suspicion that there's more to Jesus' teachings than churches are sharing. You felt it because it's true. Jesus didn't come to create a religion of dependence. He came to demonstrate what every human being can become. When he said, "The kingdom of God is within you," he meant it literally. When he said, "You will do greater works than I have done," he wasn't being modest, he was stating fact. When he performed miracles, he wasn't showing you what God can do.
He was showing you what you can do when you remember who you are. You are not powerless sinner waiting for external salvation. You are divine consciousness, having temporary human experience. You are a fragment of God, experiencing itself through your unique perspective. And the abilities that Jesus demonstrated, healing, manifestation, transformation, these are your birthright, not because you're special, because you're human. And being human means possessing divine potential that most people never activate. Rebecca activated it in one 47-minute phone call. You can activate it right now. Stop praying from desperation. Start creating from certainty. Stop begging external God. Start recognizing internal divinity. Stop waiting for Jesus to return from the sky. Start embodying Christ consciousness in your own life. This is not blasphemy. This is what Jesus actually taught. And if you're ready to hear more stories like Rebecca's, stories of ordinary people discovering extraordinary power, subscribe to Stories of Light and activate the bell. Because Rebecca isn't the only one receiving these revelations. Across the planet, people are waking up to the truth that churches have hidden for 2,000 years. The truth that you are powerful beyond measure. The truth that miracles are technology, not magic. The truth that Jesus came to wake you up, not make you worship Him. Leave a comment and tell me, have you ever felt your prayers hitting a ceiling? Have you ever suspected churches aren't teaching the whole truth? Share your story below. You might discover you're not alone in these experiences. You might find that thousands of others are awakening to the same truths. And your story might be the catalyst that helps someone else remember who they really are. Remember, Jesus' return is not Him coming from the sky to save you. Jesus' return is you awakening to the Christ consciousness that has always existed within. You are the second coming, not because you're Jesus, because you're finally becoming who Jesus came to show you that you are.